Dude, Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This show we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Jonah and I'm here with Corey.
What's up?
And Josh.
Hey-o.
Hey, we're glad you're here this week. Corey's back. Josh and I.
I'm back. Oh, that's true. You guys did something
Josh
without
and I,
me.
yeah, we did. Yeah, no,
Now, that
I know
was-
you don't listen to the podcast.
Well, I've been busy. Okay, we had Thanksgiving. Ever heard of it?
I think it was our most listened to podcast.
Yeah.
It probably was.
We doubled
1 million
our
downloads.
listeners. We
Holy
went
sh-
from 4 to 8.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna resign. I'll be the producer. I'll just sit behind that camera and let you guys do your magic.
Oh, fact check.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Jamie,
You'll be
bring
our
that up.
Jamie. Yeah, you'll be Jamie.
You guys talk-
Jamie, see if you can find
Dude,
that. Type in dragons eating
yeah.
alligator. No, it didn't come up. Okay.
Jamie's like, I don't know.
He's like, what do you want me to type? Anyways, we're back. We are
back.
going to be discussing two shows. We're going to be discussing Arcane and Skelton Crew. We're going to start with Arcane. Full spoilers. It's going to be the full season and the season finale. So if you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Go watch it. If you're not going to watch it and you want to be spoiled, I mean, yeah, I guess you can stick around.
Yeah.
But if not, we're just going to jump right in. I think we can all agree, just from the get-go, we're going to say this every single time. The art is absolutely fabulous. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
you're not going to hear any of us complain or say it doesn't look good. It's just amazing. Just even the different styles of stuff they do.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Even in intros, you're like, oh, like I was watching somebody talk about like, oh, that one intro. We talked about it last time we talked about it, but the
comic
charcoal.
book. Oh yeah, charcoal.
But that was like fully done in just charcoal drawings that then they animated. Like that's just crazy stuff. But the art is amazing. I thought the storyline worked really good. They got you invested in characters. A little confusing for me on certain parts because I was trying to figure out like who are they? When the Rose ladies come in with the chains.
Oh, Black Rose.
I was like, who are these people and how does this connect? Like, so there was some stuff that they just kind of introduced some things that I was like, okay, am I following along in this? But I thought it was just really cool. Just kind of the character development, the progression, the story was cool. I just loved it. The music works for me. I liked more there's certain songs that I really liked, but I really kind of just liked more so just the soundtrack aspect of it.
Yeah.
When they went into like some of the music, it was hit or miss. I felt in the first season, it worked a lot better for me. This one was kind of like some were really good and then others were like, I wasn't a big fan. That's probably my only nitpick.
I'm with you
have of it.
100%. Yeah.
But anyways, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think some of that with the music stuff, I think some of them were just a little too modern. And then like they were the genres that it's like you can tell like for me and probably you and maybe Josh as well, it just wasn't our, I don't know, I don't want to assume about your music taste, but it was a lot of rock, punk rock, screamo. Some parts were screamo, and I was like it kind of, I winced sometimes. So I'm like, okay, guys, I get it. Like, it's chaos, it's rebellious, it's like crazy. I get the stuff that you're trying to portray, and it works for other people way more than me because I have coworkers who are like, I'm listening to the soundtrack like on repeat every day. Like they're loving it. So it's a taste thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just,
I think for me, it's I still go back and listen to the one from season 1 with Sting.
I know.
Like, that ending song was just like so good.
Yeah. And there is some good ones like that.
But I feel like the ones where it was like the violins and more emotional kind of like hit really well. The ones that are more like Powder's theme song and it was like kind of just crazy. I'm like, I'm probably not going to re-listen to that song.
So the one, when there's like the alternate reality thing, but they do the French song.
Yeah.
La da 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 da. That one. I like that one. Like I wasn't like turned off from that one. I actually felt like that fit the moment that they were doing with Echo and stuff like that. And that's where it's like kind of ended. I didn't really enjoy.
There's a 21 Pilots one, right?
That was good too. That was good.
Yeah. I mean,
there's some good ones. Like
Yes.
I would say 50% was good.
I say 75%.
Higher? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like there wasn't, I think maybe like the powder one, the one when they're doinking was like,
yeah. The sproinking. Yeah.
I was like, meh. Okay.
Yeah, that scene too was like, I was like, that wasn't necessary.
That was the one thing about but I mean, the internet will tell you, we've been waiting 2 seasons for this.
Yeah.
We needed it.
We don't, believe it or not, you don't need that much. And this isn't even like a comment on anything, it's like in specifics, but it's just in generalities. When it comes to sex and stuff like that in relationships, we don't need that much. We understand.
Yeah. It's
And
like
so
Henry Cavill says. They're unnecessary.
Yeah.
In the first season, there was a scene with
Mel and
Jace.
Jace,
And I was like,
Right.
you don't need this.
Right.
Like, you can just have like,
That was crazy.
no, but I'm just saying.
The
like,
lead up. You get the lead up and
like,
then.
you kind of know what's
You know
going to
what's
happen.
going
Like,
down. Yeah.
You know.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, you don't need this. You don't need it. Just seems like a waste of
Time.
and animation and money. Like,
Well, they
why
had
are you
less
animating them taking their clothes off?
They had less clothes on. So.
I was like, just show me some explosions, okay?
There were fireworks.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. That was kind of like
Honestly,
not necessary.
that was my biggest, meh moment where I'm like,
Also in a jail cell. Come on, you can't find any other place.
dirty. Right where their sister. Yeah, let's not get into it. But yeah, no, the music was, I would say, like, one of the not downside, but like not, it didn't live up to the first season for me. And then where you were saying like, oh, like the weird like illusionist Blackthorn people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure if you're a League of Legends player, you know exactly what's going on. No, it's mystery. Like this is their time. Like at the end of this season, you could tell they're trying to throw in a lot of like hooks.
Yeah.
For other, by the way, they're doing other spinoffs, by the way, other stories. They did announce that.
But they're not doing like, it's not going to be a continuation of Arcane story, but it.
Well, so kind of, I mean, it's all in the same universe.
Right.
Are we going to see Jinx? Maybe.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Vi? Probably not.
Right. They said
but like
other characters might show
some
up.
characters are going to have overlap. AKA Ambessa from the Noxian army. They're from, oh my gosh, Noxia? Yeah, it's Noxia. And they're going to do a spinoff for that.
Oh, nice.
Right. So she might be involved. Believe it or not, she's not actually like one of the grand 3 leaders for that nation. So actually, compared to those 3 guys, she's
Is it a prequel then?
I don't know. We don't know. We just
If she died, right? That's the mom.
Yeah. But
it's not about her.
Back.
It's not about her.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I thought you said it was following.
I'm just saying that there's links. So through Ambessa, we have Mel. Yeah, exactly. And then we have the Blackthorn stuff, which they didn't even reveal who that person was.
Yeah, that's where
So you get to
it
find
got
out
a
later.
little confusing for me because like even, and this will be kind of towards the end. We can discuss it a little more.
Yeah,
to me, it was a bit depressing for me. I know we talked about the Penguin being depressing for you. This to me was way more depressing.
Really?
Than the Penguin. Because I guess...
But there were good sides to it.
Yes, but I feel like every time I would be like, oh, this is the good character, then it'd be like for example, like Victor, I was like, oh, this is the good guy. This is the good guy. And then...
But it shows you how like a good guy can become a perfectionist and be like, let's get rid of all evil. And then you get rid of all choice.
Oh, I totally
what I mean?
I totally understand the story arc, and I thought it was really cool. But to me, it was like, I guess my biggest problem.
Yeah, but
and this isn't a problem. This isn't a problem. This is
I
like
know.
just me watching it. I would get frustrated because
saying,
I'm like rooting for characters and then be like, it's a little bit like Lost. Like in Lost, I love John Locke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's the guy. He's my bet. I love John Locke, and then. Last season, they turn him to be like the villain because and that's that feeling of like, well, I've been rooting for this guy the whole time.
Right.
So
but to claim that it's more depressing than the Penguin, I would say you are ridiculous. Because there's so many more good things that happen. Name like 3 good things that happen from the Penguin.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I mean?
Like with the Penguin, I'm not rooting for these characters. I'm like, I don't. He's not.
You're rooting for Victor. Wow.
Well, yeah, but he starts
2 different Victors. I just really.
But he starts,
and then at the end, you're like,
But like that's the one sad thing. Like in Arcane, I'm like, there's multiple things that I'm bummed out about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And go ahead, Josh.
No, and I would say like specifically the Vander storyline. The second act, the second act I think is my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was like, but it was heartbreaking because you're like, oh, there's hope.
He's gonna save him. He's gonna save him.
Vander's still alive, and then it's really well done the way that he recognizes her.
I know.
And then it's little by little.
The imagery, how they do that stuff in his mind and stuff, that was so cool.
Awesome.
Well, but this is exactly the point. Because at that point, I'm like, Victor's good. He's going to get them. And then I've been rooting for Jace the whole time, right, too. And then he shows up and he blows everything. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? Yeah. Like, you just become... And it's a sign of great storytelling. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's that sign of like, oh, man, we were so close to, like, being happy here. Yeah, and then that happens, and then it sends Victor, like, a little farther. But then... At the end, you realize, like, Victor sends him back to do it. So it's like this whole idea, I get it, but it was a bummer for me. Like, I'd finish an episode and be like, oh, man, we were this close. We were this close to good things happening.
Yeah.
Not to mention, what's the little girl's name? Aina?
Isha.
Isha, yeah. She sacrifices herself. Pretty brutal.
And this is I mean, again, kudos to how good this show is.
She's awesome.
Because she shows up in, like, 2 or 3 episodes, right? And she doesn't have a ton of...
She can't speak.
She can't speak. No, but she has 0 lines.
She doesn't have much screen time. Like, compared to the other characters we've seen in 2 seasons, she has, like, these little moments here and there.
She has better development than, like, other people in other shows for, like, hours of line and dialogue.
The way it's shot, the way it's... Everything, like, so cinematic.
Storytelling's more than just writing.
Yeah, and how the music hits and how everything is done where she kind of just looks like... It's so well done. And she's like,
honestly, probably the biggest reason why Jinx turned and kind of saw herself in her and saw her sister in a different light. And like, dude, what an amazing story.
That sequence too, where she's jumping and then it like goes to like the drawings of her jumping with Jinx and then it's like, my gosh, dude.
I love that.
And the music was good.
And the other thing,
that music was great there.
The other thing that made me depressed,
I'll move it up to 7%.
It was a lot. The other thing,
there were just a few songs I was just like,
The other thing that kind of like along the pushes that whole aspect of like, man, is when they go into when Echo goes into the alternate reality, right? And you see Vander alive, and you see. And Vi's dead, but everyone else is around. You kind of see like what could have been in this whole aspect. So then it just makes you be like, when they go back and you're like, man, this place sucks, you know, dude. Like
reality sucks.
That whole aspect of it, you're just like, man, why couldn't he just stay? You know, like those are things that again, credit to the writing and the development of the story and the characters. But for me, it gives me way more of that feeling of, oh man, what a bummer.
Well, it was so sick though, because if it wasn't for all that, Echo would have had a totally different heart, and he would have had a totally different perspective off Jinx.
Yeah.
And he would have had a different perspective on a lot of things. And so all of a sudden, he becomes this awesome dude.
Well, and I like...
Echo's my favorite.
I like, too, how when he comes back and he's talking to Jinx, and he, like, says powder, like, stops himself, because it's like... all of that, and then how she looks and notices he's got the little, like, monkeys, you know? And she realizes, like, oh, that's my... tech, that's what I would do, kind of stuff. I totally agree. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah. It's just I was much more like, and I love sad stories and stuff, but this show done so well, there were just so many moments when I was like, oh man, can we change the outcome? Can I like I have my own lever and pull it to go back and kind of change things? Just really good. The other thing I'll say is I watched a full episode not knowing that I was on double speed.
Oh, whoa.
How did you manage that?
Because I was watching on my phone on one of the things, and
a teardrop.
One of the girls came in and like hit my phone.
Oh, whoa.
And I didn't notice it. So like it was going super fast, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, how am I supposed to keep up with this?"
That's crazy.
That's why you didn't understand.
It was during one of the songs, and the song was like going super fast, like, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is crazy! Like, how am I keeping track of this? Like, this is nuts."
And all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, you're like, "Oh, it's over already."
I got like halfway through the episode, and then I like clicked on it, and I'm like, why am I double time? Like,
that's crazy.
So don't do that, because it makes it super intense, like especially in the fight scenes where they're going crazy.
Yeah,
I think it was the episode where Vander was Like the first time where they go into the jail.
Oh, yeah.
That was sweet when he showed up.
Dude, that
and
was
like
sick.
It was like all red.
The point of view
And
stuff.
point of view was
so
sick.
cool.
Even though I don't like metal music, that scene was pretty
was cool.
sweet.
Yeah,
Like, okay, that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Can we? I'm just gonna say it. Jace is the villain of this story.
Yeah.
Jace is 100% the bad guy.
I think Jace is pretty. He's just a real idiot,
he's a clown, dude.
which sucks because it's like Victor. Like obviously there was some like time travel, like the whole with the rune thing trying to save him.
Yeah.
So I will say,
how'd you handle that?
here's why it worked for me. It was brief and it was succinct and it was to the point.
Yeah.
They didn't open up a lot of like, what if
They didn't explain it. Like,
Yeah.
they just kind of assumed, hey, you
they
get it.
showed you? And they did express parameters and stuff. And especially with the whole echo stuff with like Heimerdinger and like people like
if you go past
he got
eviscerated.
destroyed,
Like
dude.
I was like, oh dude, this is sick. And it's awesome because like there's so many things with the echo time stuff where it's like, first of all, when he dances with Jinx, there's like an FPS that like is in sync with 4 seconds. Apparently there's some like it was a low FPS so that the frames were in sync with 4 seconds. I don't know what it was exactly, but there's some play in there. But then also having it makes sense with the game, like the actual video game, where it's like, yeah, you can go back like 4 seconds. So basically how he works in the game is he has like a echo of himself, and wherever he goes, he can wind back time back to that point where he was. It's 4 seconds. It's just so cool to be like, yo, dude, these guys are on it. It's so sick.
That's the reason why.
And like, there's a lot of little Easter eggs which I got to benefit from, which is awesome. But I don't, you don't need it to enjoy. But like the goggles he has in League of Legends are Jinx's goggles, and it's like that's so cool. And that's from season 1.
Nice.
Like that's crazy. I'm like, dude, they had it all figured out. And then the weapons he gets mid-fight in the final fight were the arms of the clock, just all based around this like time.
Yeah,
That is so cool. I just enjoyed every little bit of it. It was awesome. But yeah, no, the time. So in general, time stuff. Yeah, they were quick about it and they explained stuff. And I think the only like part that I didn't really like was what happened with Heimerdinger and like how he very quickly built something really fast. That was pretty ridiculous. Like how he's like, I've got a little upgrade for your time thing, and it's like these huge like Marvel style like time machine. I'm like, okay, whatever. But that's the only thing that bugged me was how fast Heimerdinger upgraded it. But
maybe it's because I wasn't. I don't know. Who was there was a couple times I was confused. When Victor goes in like kind of the astral plane and he's like, who was the woman with him?
Like from
That's was the girl from season 1 that got killed.
She's a
Sky?
girl.
Was that her name?
Sky, and she was the one who expressed her feelings for him, and he couldn't figure it out.
All right. I figured it was something from season 1, but I was like, I don't remember.
She got eaten up.
by
the invention, the hex tech.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yep.
Because there was stuff like that I was like, am I supposed to know who she is?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's if you would have watched season 1 before you would have
instantly
instantly known it. Yeah.
It was also, I think it took me a second because also I was like, oh, she was wearing glasses. You know what I mean? That's not a huge deal, but like when Superman takes his glasses
I couldn't
off,
tell.
you're like, whoa, what the heck, dude?
It is a disguise.
But I liked when he says to her,
I'm
gonna miss our talks, and she's like, no, you won't. Like that to me, that was
I know.
a line that I was like, oh,
yeah,
dang.
She knows.
That was
and
really
he's
cool.
fooling himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the stuff with Victor was really well done.
I love Victor's
to take him from like, a cripple basically, and then turn him into a monster essentially, and then we turn him into Hex Tech Jesus. He's just rolling around healing people.
And Jace is Judas.
Yeah.
Well, even
just blowing him up.
There's just little things that I'm like, even the design, like of all his followers have like the print here where they have like the thumb and
Man, it's so cool.
It was just a really cool design choice that made it so like that's really cool. Like you said, Hex Tech Jesus with having like touching people, but having his imprint on them and all that aspect. And then later on, when they become like morphing into like these almost machines.
Yeah.
And they kind of have the same look, but it's different. It's more like, oh, you're just being controlled. The other one is more like, I'm touching you and giving, like, healing you and giving you like enlightenment. And this one's just like, I'm taking over. I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
It was just really cool, really subtle, like change in design.
And it got more and more and more, and it was like, wow, like all of a sudden it starts feeling like the Borg from Star Trek. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that cool. Design
and it was like a ramp up.
That design element was so cool too. The colors, like, it's kind of like the chrome.
Ivory.
Yeah, the chrome, but it has like a, like when there's like an oil spill.
Incandescent
and you have
is
that,
what it's
like,
called.
That was just really cool. Like the pinks and the greens and like in there. Beautiful. You can tell why this show is so like expensive just because it looks absolutely incredible. But I think more so than that, it's just a testament to creativity, because you can draw something and make it look beautiful, but the attention to detail just in like the armor, the clothes, the buildings, everything is just like so perfect. Like I was looking at random characters and being like, man, just how cool do they look? Like when they put the masks on, like the soldiers, I'm like, that looks really cool. Everything about it, like all the technology, the hammer gun that Jace has, like just all that kind of stuff. When he goes into like, I guess the alternate reality where he sees like what it all becomes, like even just the
apocalyptic
stuff, the beings there like frozen, and the one that's just standing there, like sitting there, like with stuff growing out of him. Like it's just really cool that you're like, man, that comes down to like artists making stuff.
And the way they frame it, right? It's like, well, that was Jace.
Yeah.
With the hammer. And then like he assumes the same position in the reality, the current reality. Is like, the attention to detail is crazy.
He also drew the short end of the stick on that one. Heimerdinger's out here playing banjo.
Oh my gosh.
And then Jace is like, oh, I gotta climb to the highest tower and eat these weird animals. Like, dang, that sucks, dude. No wonder you went crazy.
Dude.
Banjo was sick though.
That was awesome, dude.
Sick.
I love Heimerdinger, dude. I love him. I'm gonna also think that he's not dead. I think he's probably just zoomed out to some other time frame.
He's dead. He imploded.
He's done. Nah. You can't do that to my boy, Jaime.
I think for the coolest thing that I liked about Victor's story was in that second act where he's talking about Vander, and he's like, I think it's Sky is like, oh, this is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's worth it. And then at the end, he's talking to what's the scientist's name? The bad
Singed.
And he's like, I'm not gonna destroy his. I'm not gonna sacrifice his humanity for whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then to have that completely flip on the next one where he's like, yeah, we're gonna sacrifice him, and you even see that like the watercolor memories like getting sucked away, which was such a sweet, awesome sequence.
Because it was kind of that vacuum effect with the like pipes.
Yeah. Like,
and then it directly inflicted his memories, the same animation style.
It was such a good sequence in the second act where he's like, you're seeing that being story,
flushed away.
And then to basically just see him turn into being like, oh, I'm completely going against what I was saying before. Yeah. Like I'm a monster now. And even just the change in his, like the beast, him becoming it and his head splitting out, like you can still see Victor's face, but like the monster's coming out from his face. Just like you were saying, cool, really cool design details, but just like it tells the story of what's happening just so well.
Yeah.
And then that moment you were talking about with Sky, where she's like, "No, you're not gonna like you're completely lost it."
Yeah.
I just thought that was awesome. And once again, I'm gonna die on this hill. Jace is the worst. Just gonna say it. Yeah, I know he redeems himself in the end. Because of Victor.
And
but it's like you can't say you're the good guy when your friend's like, hey dude, destroy that thing, and he's like, you're dying. I'm gonna put you in that thing. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't blame him for that.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't blame him for trying to save the man's life.
I say, destroy that thing. That thing is evil. It killed the love of my life.
Well, sure.
A girl that liked me.
She's nice.
She was really nice, dude. Friend, a lot of people don't like Victor. And then she was like, hey, I'm kind of into you. Boom, she's dead. And he's like, hey, get rid of that. And Jason's like, no, dude, because we got I am so into what I'm going to create that we're going to keep it alive. And I'm going to force my friend to be alive also. And then you turn him into a monster. And then you're like, let me finish you off, you son of a bee. Bad guy.
I mean,
you're a bad guy.
He turned into a monster later.
Jace?
No.
Victor.
Because
of Jace.
Yeah, but because Victor told him to do it.
Yeah, so,
but
I mean, it ends up, that's the thing. It ends up being like, the reason he did those things is because Victor was like, this is what you got to do. I've seen every outcome, and this is what it comes to.
And the only person would have destroyed that in the first place, no problem.
No problem.
No, because there still would have been something.
That's not true.
Well,
because the people down below were still doing stuff.
Well,
I mean,
Vander,
other issues.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you still had Vander, and all that kind of stuff happened. Stuff happened beside the point.
I know that's outside of it though. But the main problem with the Hex Tech is all Jace's fault. Because even Heimerdinger in season 1 is like, "Hey, don't mess with that. That's not a good idea." And Jace is like, "No."
Is it? Well, then we can say
I'm gonna.
Well, then we can say it's Heimerdinger's fault because he,
it's
instead of just saying like, "Don't do that," they should have just said, "Hey, we're gonna kick you out of this whole thing. We're gonna take matters into our own hands and get rid of this because we,
He tried.
I would just say it's really easy to be like, "Oh, well, I mean." Do you blame the dude at the time when he like tries to save Victor? I was like, yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
you got to keep him alive. Like if there's a chance that he can survive.
Is that what it is?
Like imagine if Carl was in that position.
Yeah,
wouldn't you do anything you could to keep him alive?
Yeah, someone blows up our house. I'm like, Carl, come here, Carl. Put him in a little back to tank. I'm trying to save his life. I think this is what he wants. And guess what? He comes out and he's better than ever. He looks a little metally, but he's healing people.
He's a little metally.
He turns into Hex Tech Jesus. Like, even at that point, I was like, this is cool. Like, he's the man. So I think
you missed the point.
But I'm just
when
thinking,
it was like, oh, this is a cocoon. This is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Cocoons are bad now?
Yeah.
You don't like
beautiful things come from cocoons.
Nothing good ever has come out of a cocoon.
Butterfly?
You don't like butterflies? You don't like butterflies? Evil. Butterflies are gross. Okay, whatever, man. They turn from worms into butterflies. Come on.
Have you ever seen Alien? What comes out of those little eggs?
Not butterflies, but those are fantasy. Those aren't real.
This is fantasy.
That's what I'm saying, like in real life. Anyways,
Arcane's not real, dude. Jace bad.
Jace worse.
The moment at the end that I thought was really awesome was when they embrace at the end. Like that shot was just amazing.
Like you're not gonna do this by yourself.
No, and like cool. And the way they embrace.
Jace, stop being selfish.
They might not be dead. You never know, guys.
That was really cool. The other moment that I thought was really awesome was when Jinx sacrificed herself, basically. Mm-hmm. But they have that shot of Vander watching them sleep, like and blow out the candle like that. I just thought that was just really well done. And it's those moments that I feel like
those are good moments.
They're good. No, they're great moments. I just feel like in those moments you realize, man, how come there's not more people that understand this kind of like, you don't need a lot. You don't need I feel like in media nowadays, it's like, oh, we have to do this crazy thing. It's like, no, sometimes it's just write a good character. And then you can have a simple moment where it's just like him watching the two girls sleep, right? And you just have that quick shot. It's like 3 or 4 seconds. He blows out the candle and it fades away. Like that is perfect. You don't need to do all this crazy stuff. It's like that's the stuff that's
you
touching.
Don't need people saying this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to describe it. It's just visually show it.
Yeah.
And what works about it is it's a payoff that's been earned by how you've written these characters and brought them along with storytelling.
Done, the choices they've made, the moments they've had.
Yes, that's It's all been earned. That I'm just like, man, they nailed it. Mm-hmm. Like more people need to do this instead of going on writer strikes. To get guys that don't know how to write, get them more money. How about you just write something beautiful like this?
Why don't you just do it?
Why don't you just do it? Put your money where your mouth is.
It's a lot easier said than done. But, I mean, the nice thing is that I think the more we have examples of good writing, the better it is for us. So But yeah, Arcane obviously is a prime example of that. And honestly, the studio, I can't remember the name, like Fortiche or something like that, some French thing, I'm not sure. But they only have they have 50 people on their team. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. For 50 people, I mean, that's a lot still, kind of, but whew, the amount of animation, modeling, wow, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they used AI, they just plugged it in the system and like,
and they're like, go crazy.
Animate cool
crazy
story.
guy in cocoon with metal legs.
In Arcane style.
Great prompt.
Gosh, I wonder how many people are using a prompt like that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I still think that the first season was better, but that's because of the simplicity of the first season, right? I think there's a lot less things they needed to tie up and a lot less characters they needed to consider. So I think this season had a lot to work with, and it's always hard to kind of button up stories to a pleasing amount, or it's like, oh yeah, that felt like I had closure on this character or that, because they had a lot of characters by the end of the story.
Yeah.
That's a tough job to do. I think some criticism has been that the ending felt rushed for some people, and fair. I think instead of it feeling rushed, a lot of people are criticizing like the end was a little bit like complicated, or not complicated, but like convoluted a little bit. But what I would say to them is watch it again. That's the joy of it, guys. If it's a little bit too much for you to like understand in the first run, it's the beauty of it. Watch it again.
Well, I think generally that's kind of how it works, right? Is like,
do it.
It's like, oh, that was really fast. And then you don't but rewatch it. And then you're like, oh, now I know where it's going.
Yeah.
And I can pay attention. And I can appreciate the build up to it.
Yeah. And make sure you watch it on 2x speed. Yeah. that could be why it was too fast.
Was that you? You were like, man, why too fast? I don't know what happened.
That's the review that I saw. Yeah.
No, I've heard that complaint about some other, but I mean,
but not for me.
I don't know what
I'm good.
I don't know what you're supposed to do. So if it's fast, I do think from the penultimate episode to the next one, it was like, oh, they're already fighting.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool though.
They're just into it.
I liked it too.
Cool. And so I could see people complaining about that, but I was like, it seemed like the battle went like there was enough happening with Victor controlling stuff and the whole like character arcs between Abisa and Mal and all that kind of stuff, that I just feel like that there was enough going on and stuff that were moving the story along with still being with action.
It was good, yeah.
To me, it didn't seem like it was too quick.
Even that twist too with what's the Catherine? Is it Catherine?
Oh, Caitlin.
Caitlin and the chick that was like, I'm gonna miss your warmth, and she
that was dope.
I was like, that was
awesome. That was awesome.
That was pretty sweet. But I thought there was a lot of cool different stuff going on with the different characters, and I thought they balanced it well. But I don't know.
I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we're like geniuses. You know what I mean? We track pretty well with all the storylines.
Oh. I'm a genius.
Oh, well, only at least you. Yeah, I don't know about me or Jonah, but
yeah, I think
never mind. I guess I'm the only one.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think I'm maybe a little above average on being able to track storylines, I guess, but not much, and I was just fine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'm in your camp as well. Like, I think season 1 was just a little bit better, and I think it's just more of a. Maybe it's just like the fact that it was like the first time seeing it, first season, introduction, at least for me, into this world in that way.
Yeah.
But it's really close as far as like, whether season 2 is better or not. Yeah. But I think as far as like wrapping up the story, I think it was really well done. And just the character development, like we've talked about with Victor and even Jace, even though he's the bad guy, he redeemed himself in the end.
I mean, he looks pretty sick in the beard.
He did look cool. I was excited when he showed up, and then I was like, "No, you're gonna mess this all up, you idiot!"
They're selling a skin that's like, what's it called? Not like like Hex Tech corrupted Jace or something like that.
It was like $300.
No. It's still like $15. It's crazy, but like, No, but when
I
look back at the different characters and the storylines that were like told, I guess I would say that there's more storylines that I enjoyed, because like the first season was telling the Silco timeline and all the down in Zon area stuff, and
Imagine Dragons
was there. Of course, they'd be down there. But I loved Echo's story. I love Victor's story. I did enjoy Jinx. I enjoyed Jinx and her kind of redemption of that, and Isha and stuff like that. And there's a lot of good stuff from the season too. So
yeah, I think they're.
I don't know.
I think they're pretty.
They're
much
really
on par.
close. They're really close. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you just want to give it the rating?
I'll just say I think this is the first time, not the first time, but like one of the rare times where I think I will watch it again. Because I don't think I fully absorbed everything. So I think I will go back to it, because I'm seeing stuff on Twitter of these screenshots, and I'm like, holy crap, dude. You got like Jinx's like makeup like bleeding. You know what I mean? Like how like mascara bleeds when, and it says Vi in her mascara on her cheek. I didn't notice that. Like there's tiny little details like that all over the show.
There was
wild.
A cool detail I like that everyone noticed, but that I thought was just really cool, is when she's falling at the end and her tears, like when she's saying goodbye, like that little stuff was really cool. Like I thought that was just a great shot, where it's not over the top, but it's just like, the tears, like that was just that kind of stuff. I'm like, these guys nailed it.
So before we give our ratings, if it ends up Jinx not being dead, which I think is likely, by the way.
Well,
would you be disappointed?
No.
Okay. Because I think she escaped.
I need a happy ending.
I feel like they show, like you see like a little blink.
So Caitlin at the end shows that there's like air vents. This is literally Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like air vents.
No body, she ain't dead, bro.
But when the show ends, it like does a little, I tried to pause it to see if it said anything. End, right? But it like goes and has that whole like Jinx.
Caitlin has her moment. Oh, okay, like the little hack, like kind of fun thing.
Yeah, it has like the.
I think so. Apparently, in the lore, she's really good friends with a character named Lux, and she's like one of my favorite characters.
Who, Caitlin or Jinx?
Jinx, and apparently somehow she's made a connection with her in a different like nation. That's Demacia, and that's one of the announced spin-off shows. So I wonder if we might see
She
Jinx.
fell all the way to Demacia.
Just caught an air current and just flew over there.
That balloon, bro.
Oh, well, I think people were saying, because like in the first episode, she says, "Oh, I'm going to fly one of those one day." And then the last shot is you see the airship flying. So people are like, "Oh, that's Jinx in there."
Off in the distance.
Flying off to...
Yeah. That's the
Demacia.
Yeah. Demacia.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. That's right. I'm stoked for the spinoffs. Yeah, a lot of my favorite characters are in different areas. So, I'm stoked.
But how long do we have to wait for these spinoffs? Is it going to be like probably 2 or 3 years?
Probably 2 to 3 years.
Okay, I'm going to be dead by then. So let me know how it is.
You heard it here first.
Sounds good.
What are you giving it?
Oh, you guys first. Man, do you guys remember what I gave the first one?
No.
It was a high 9.
But it's just what we do here.
I gave a high 9.
I think I would give, in the vein of Henry Cavill, I would give it a higher rating if it didn't have, minus the sex scenes would be higher.
Isn't there only one?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about both seasons. In both seasons.
We're not rating both seasons.
I know, but I'm just saying my rating for the first season would have been higher.
Okay.
I'm going to give this a 9.6.
That's what I was going to say. That's how I had my
head. To me, it's like, what, again, besides
something unnecessary.
Those things that were unnecessary, I'm like, the storytelling, if we're just going on storytelling alone and how beautiful it is and just the artistry of it, and my biggest nitpick is the unnecessary scene and
a little bit
some of the music didn't hit, but I'm like, that's just like 2 of the songs out of a full season of music. To me, it's like, that's like a nitpick. So 9.6, it could be higher if I rewatch it and try to kind of like
normal speed.
Normal speed.
Yeah.
No, but if I go back and watch and pick up on more of those details, I just think it's one of those things that you can rewatch and be like, oh, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It'll just enhance it. So it's a 9.6, but could probably be higher.
I'm going to say 9.7 just to be different.
Oh, you're going to push Corey to 9.9.
I'm not going to 9.9.
Just did.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Corey, you can give it a 10. I will not hold it against you.
Because there were things that I didn't like.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think same thing. Outside of the sex scene, there wasn't really anything that I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying. Like, even the characters that make you mad for a reason. You know what I mean? It's not like you're frustrated with the writing. You're frustrated because the writing's good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like you're like, oh, why is he doing that? That's stupid. It's like, there's a reason why he's doing it, and that's like it's just good writing. And then, like I said, I like the songs more than you guys.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
so, pop it up.
Just on that point, really quick, when there's good writing, the characters do things that aren't like flipping. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like
the acolyte.
They're all justified. They're justified.
And the acolyte is like, man, this character did this in this episode, and now they just completely flipped without giving an explanation as to why. Right. This one walks you through why Jace changes, or why Jace makes a decision, or why Victor makes the decision. Yeah. Like, he comes to an understanding. Therefore, he did this because they explain it, and they don't need to tell you like through like exposition. It's kind of like you realize what they're, like it's just, that's what writing is.
Expression.
Whereas in the other one, it's just like, well, now they're doing this because we got to keep the audience guessing. It's like that falls flat when it's not earned. Yes. Anyways, sorry.
Same thing with Jinx. They explain why she changes because of Isha, and all
even then, you still see the shimmer effects. A little bit. She's fighting. And you can tell, but then she thinks about her childhood and the direct comparisons to Isha.
Yeah. And it's not just Isha.
No.
It's also like the fact that Vander's still alive. Right. Like they have that hope.
And the vibe being like, it's your dad too. And like big, meaningful things like that.
Those moments of being like, oh, I thought she hated me. I thought I lost my sister. It's like, oh, but the fact that our dad's still alive, he's your dad too. Yeah. Like that line, those little things, they all coalesce into being like, oh, that's what pushed her over, instead of just being like, oh, remember when you saw a picture on the wall and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember now. No, it's like it was earned. It was well done. Anyways, Corey, what are you giving it?
Yeah, I think I wonder what I said on the first one. I bet I said 9.6 for season 1. And the more we talk about it, I'll go 9.7.
Yeah, there we go.
That's really high.
9.75. Just so you're better than Josh.
No. You might as well make it a
9.65.
9.8.
No. That's crazy, bro. But if I was ever going to go 9.8, that would be the closest to it. Because it's just, League of Legends is a special place in my heart, and there's a little bit of that extra.
Yeah.
I know these characters, and there's some history with that, but I'm just judging it based on its story and everything. So,
well,
really good.
Yeah, that's
just skip the weirdo romance scene. You're good, and it's just such a rock solid show.
Yeah,
man,
absolutely. Let us know what you thought. If you watched Arcane in the comments, you can let us know if you agree with us, if you disagree, if you hated it. I saw one guy on the internet say that Creature Commandos was going to be the Arcane of the DC. I was like, get out of here, you clown.
That's crazy.
Not even close. Like, there's a complete different, just in art.
Name out your mouth.
Anyways, we're going to move on to talk about Skelton Crew. We got the first 2 episodes of Skelton Crew premiered. This is going to be kind of quick. I don't think we need to go into it super hard, but I really like this. The first 2 episodes felt like Goonies, felt like E.T., gave me a little Jumanji vibe.
I don't know. Kind of.
It was it felt interesting. I like
definitely E.T. Yeah.
I like the kid actors. They actually worked.
Yeah,
Neil,
good.
Neil is my boy.
I love Neil, dude.
Neil's
my boy.
The scene where they like meet and they like pretend lightsaber fights. I was like, that's sick.
That was awesome.
What are you doing here? Like, that was just cool. I love the look of it. And the thing that I was surprised about was it intrigued me. Like when they start talking about at
Atten.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they're like, and people are being like, oh, what they're saying is from like that to me was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a hidden planet that there's legends about that has a ton of gold.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really cool and I wasn't expecting that. So it gave me enough.
It's a good twist.
It gave me enough twist. Little things to be like, okay, I'm interested. I thought the droid was cool. And I'm intrigued with Jude Law's character. I mean, we're in agreement. He's the guy at the beginning.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Same clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's him.
Literally.
But what I thought was really interesting that I wasn't expecting was the music was really good.
Yeah.
They do the Force theme, but they do it with like a solo violin.
Yep.
That I thought was really cool. We normally don't hear.
You're talking about like in the jail.
Yeah, when he does the Force.
That was good.
And I was like, there was like music that I was like, this is. Like it's simplified. It's like just one violin or one cello doing something, but Star Wars music. I was like, that's pretty unique. We haven't gotten that. Normally we get the French horn or whatever, but I'm like, that was really cool. So I really love that. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm super into it. I think it's nice to have like Acolyte felt so like it was taking itself so seriously. You know what I mean? Like this is acting.
Yeah.
And this is Star Wars. And this is like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like, cool. This is exciting. Let's see it like, let's see something we haven't seen before. I know people were, at least in the trailers, when the trailer came out, they were hating on like, oh, the suburbs in Star Wars, that's stupid. But I'm like, I really enjoyed it. It was like, kind of like in, when we saw the prequels and you're like, oh, there's a
diner.
Yeah, exactly. Or no, oh, there's a planet like made. It's an entire city.
Yeah.
Like watching the original trilogy, you're like, oh, there's a desert.
There's a forest. There's a snow planet.
But it's like not every Star Wars city has to be like slums, like like rundown technological.
Yeah, once you
stuff.
get you like make 8 Tatooines, and you're like,
well, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, here's why: they have plenty of money.
Yeah.
And this whole like, what was the great work that they're supposed to be a part of?
Yeah, it's like this whole like secret society
like
they're
this
doing.
Utopia thing. And it's like, have you guys ever seen any imagery from Utopias?
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Well,
like Walt Disney's Utopia, it looks like that.
The thing that was cool too was them being like, oh, we went past the barrier.
Right.
So there's like, they're hidden and they're talking about that kind of stuff.
The droid even says like, oh, no ships can leave or enter the atmosphere or whatever. So,
or even the kids going out and being like, oh, what are those? Like, and they're like, oh, I think those are stars. Like, they've never seen those because there's a barrier. Like, that was really intriguing and something different and unique to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, it does also intrigue me, like, okay, so like the ship is intact and flying. Sure, it's a little broken, but like, so what happened with them? Like the crew and how they get onto Atten? Like, that's intriguing to me too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to buy the Lego set, which is like 160 bucks.
I said the same thing. I was like,
it's a cool ship.
It's
like the individual like rotating boosters.
Yeah, I was like, I was hoping I didn't like this.
So does the Lego set, dude. You can spin them.
They get you every time.
Gosh dang it!
It'd be $250.
I thought the kids were really good.
Yeah,
even the KB was cool with like their little. Jordy LaForge.
Jordy LaForge, yeah. That was cool, man. I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun. I was wondering if you watched it with your kids or was it just you?
I didn't. Because I watched it late.
Yeah, on the phone, twice speed, double speed.
Yeah, no, we watched it on TV. Disney doesn't do twice speed. I think it's just Netflix.
Okay. Oh, no. But yeah, no, I thought it was good. I think a kid could watch that and have fun. That was great. I mean, you could track it. Yeah, the kids would track and keep up, and it'd be fun. And yeah, I loved the idea of like the speeders being like bikes.
Yeah,
I did like his little one. It's like, meow.
Yeah, and then like he had to like lift it over the like guardrails.
He didn't want to go over the.
This is awesome, dude. It's like 80s.
It's kind of sad that these kids are driving on speeders and they're going way faster than the speeder gang in Book of Boba Fett. Like,
hey, they heard us. They heard us.
I'm like,
it's good.
Dang.
They heard us.
Just the difference of the speed these kids are going at versus like the let's go get them, boys. Reminds me of Seinfeld when they're going on. George steals the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I just thought this looks really cool.
Yeah, fun.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, just enough.
They got
intrigue.
some cool things that are doing there, but
I like the opening scene too.
the opening scene was great.
Boarding the ship and like shooting like the giant.
Yeah, that was
things
cool.
through. That was really.
That's the other thing too that I thought was cool. The pirates, the
Yeah.
design of the pirates, just even like how they're. I mean, it reminded me of Goonies a little bit with all this whole idea of like the pirates, but even how they talk kind of like pirates. Like it's just. I like it.
All the creatures are really cool too.
Yeah, the wolf dude with the three.
Cool. That big
bandolier.
Pufferfish guy.
Yeah, whoever was chasing them.
Yeah, he looked like a pufferfish.
And the dude got shot in the eyeball.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Even like you said, the music, like the little like pirate shanty type music is cool. In Star Wars, like you still kind of get that Star Wars vibe.
And that's the one pirate that was in Mandalorian.
Yeah, Vane. Is that his name?
Vane or Bane?
I think it's Vane.
Vane.
I thought, before we watched it, I thought, oh, we're going to have some scalability issues where it's like, oh, it's really small sets. But, I think they've done a great
better
job
than the Acolyte.
at showing the woods and the
woods
neighborhoods and even the school was really big.
Yeah.
And then the sheer amount of the droids and stuff like that. And when they're walking into school, you can see the size of it all. And
yeah, it didn't look like it was done on the
volume.
The volume.
I think
it just maybe they've gotten better at doing it, but it just looked bigger, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But not like it's a big issue. I was just something I noticed. That's all.
The pirate port looks sweet too.
Yeah.
All the ships in there and the turrets following them in was really cool.
Yeah, and I also liked when they order the food and they give him the food and then he's like, oh, you need 4 of these kind of thing. And then that
was funny.
they're realizing, they got money. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting.
Ancient pure credit stuff.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was really cool.
Neil's definitely the GOAT though so far. I like his family.
I love his family, dude.
And I hope
baby Zulu or whatever.
He becomes a Jedi. I hope Ray trains him.
Wait,
in the Ray movie, Neil.
Do you think Neil's the
He's
one?
got the Force, baby.
That'd be dope.
I just need to see him with a lightsaber.
My favorite line was something like the girl. What's the girl's name? The captain.
Fern.
Fern, that's right. Fern was saying something something about shut your trunk or something like that. He's like, huh? I talk out of my mouth, not my trunk. I just thought it was so funny. I was like, dude, I love this Neil guy. He's the best.
He had some good lines.
He's great.
Or when she's like, he's like, they called claimsies. Checks out.
Yeah, checks out.
That dialogue
whose TV
was
you
just
on,
good.
Man?
Yeah. That dialogue just worked.
Yep. Fun.
Not
kid,
forced.
playful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Good stuff.
Jude Law's also said that he's like, I really like my character, and he's like, he's like, in episode 7, you learn a lot about you learn a lot about my character, and he's like, it's a really cool backstory. So I was like, that's kind of cool.
He was at Order 66.
Yeah.
He survived Order 66.
He's actually Grogu's brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts. He's related to somebody in Star Wars. Maybe he's a Skywalker.
Do we know how many episodes
Maybe
we're
he's
getting?
Quinlan
there's
Voss'
8.
son.
8, right? 8?
Everyone,
I think that's what they
dude,
normally do.
everyone connects to Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to
8's
be
a
any.
lot,
I don't think there's going to be any big
I don't think so either.
connections.
Even the director was like, or the guy that wrote it was like, yeah, we didn't want to really be like, oh, wait for this cameo or whatever. He's like, it's just kind of our own little story.
Yeah, do your thing.
I mean,
but secretly, I'm hoping there is a secret big cameo.
I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard's directing an episode, so that's going to be a Mando episode.
Is Dave Filoni not doing one of these where Ahsoka's going to show up?
Yeah.
Anakin.
Yeah.
No? Force Ghost Anakin is going to help him.
Shows up. That'd be sick.
Pretty cool. Yeah. We're looking forward to it. We're gonna. That's gonna be it for this week's episode of the Nerdiest Podcast. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Again, let us know if you watched Skelton Crew and Arcane, what you thought. We'll keep the conversation going. We'll be back next week talking about some DC stuff. We should be getting the Superman trailer sometime this month, is the rumor.
We got the game show thing, the video game one. What's it called? Secret Level?
Secret Level comes out December 10th.
That's right.
Did you see the trailer for Pac-Man?
Yeah, I saw
that one looks sick. I'm like, that's crazy.
That was not unexpected.
People are like, Zack Snyder's Pac-Man.
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
It's like
a dude going and getting a cherry off a tree and attacking all these. It's crazy, dude.
Crazy.
It's gonna be sick.
I think he's a ghost.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think at the end Pac-Man's gonna eat him.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
okay. That'd be
crazy.
That is kind of the thing.
But yeah, we got some of the DC stuff we're going to be talking about. Obviously, Skelton Crew. And yeah, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you now next week.
See ya.